Hi, Jack. Merry Christmas.
Love and blessings.
Thank you. So for tonight's satsang, I'm going to actually hit it from a different direction this evening. I want to talk about the me. And what is wrong with being a me? What is the problem that we all feel when we're taking ourselves to be a me?
I feel small and constricted.
Small and constricted. Thank you, Alice. Anybody else? What is it about being a me? So we have small and constricted. Anything else? That's it?
Jack shared something, but he was muted. Jack, we didn't hear you because you were muted.
I said we become a me, a meanie.
A meanie.
What I was going to say is that everything that seems to happen seems to be seen from a lens of being so personal and about me or affecting me in some way instead of just a happening. And I've had a bit of a experience of that with my children over Christmas stuff. It always brings out the best in people over Christmas. And there was a sort of a sense of, now how can I calm all this down? All these me's are, having a say about what's happening on Christmas Day and all of that sort of thing. It was quite hilarious. And it has calmed down, and people have apologized to each other, but it's just, I think it's so funny. Such tiny little things that happen are a big explosion, and I still shake my head.
Yeah.
Funny to watch.
So what you're saying is, being a me, I tend to get in disagreements with other me's.
Yeah, what I can see in what I experienced was they think differently, which is people think differently. We have different ideas about things, but that's the thing, is someone thinks that you should think the way I think, and when that happens,
Yeah.
there's someone gets offended or upset, and I can see the hopelessness of all of that, because, well, I know them fairly well. I know where they're coming from, each and every one of them. So, and it's all okay, but it's just taken so personally.
Yeah. Okay, so that's another one. So we have small and constricted. Diane's throwing in the hat, taking things personally.
I have the same thing going on with my kids. And the funny thing is, I told my son, my 26-year-old, that I don't have a problem with him thinking differently than me. I'm fine with that. I can agree to disagree. I have different thoughts, and I'm fine with that. And he looked at me and said, yeah, but I'm not. He's not fine that I don't think like him. Diane. Like, does everybody want a clone? And if we all thought the same, there would be nothing to discuss, because you already know the answer.
Okay. Anybody else?
Well,
Go
ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, the me is never really satisfied. It's always going from one thing to the next.
Hmm. So never satisfied, always taking things personally, feeling small and constricted, like Alice mentioned.
Attached to, along the lane, along Jones, what Joan shared, attached to an opinion, wanting to be right, and wanting to assert itself, and feeling vulnerable to being victimized, and things like that.
Yeah,
Getting
vulnerable.
pissed off, and in my particular case today, feeling burned out and frustrated.
Wow.
With other me's wanting a lot of stuff from this me in a period of time that is just uncomfortable. Conflicted.
And like you said, the me never feels complete. It always is trying to fix something to become complete.
I was thinking also in terms of the me, when you're into like the ego mind me, it's like you're into division, right? As opposed to undivided. So the universal, the Tao, so to speak, that's more of a oneness, right? We're all undivided, not two. And the me, can clearly take us into a divided place.
Okay, so a lot of stuff here, right? I feel divided as a me. I feel vulnerable, feel separate, feel small and constricted, feel that I'm right and therefore people who disagree with me are wrong.
It's a smorgasbord.
So I made a post last night addressing this. I don't know if any of you saw it, but I'll read it. I wrote, when I take myself to be a me, it is impossible for me to allow everything to be simply as it is. I'll read it again. When I take myself to be a me, it is impossible for me to allow everything to be simply as it is.
That sounds a lot like the, divided, undivided, right? I mean, we're undivided to begin with, and the me divides it.
Well, this is saying something a little bit different. I'm saying that the me cannot allow what's happening to be as it is.
The me is a filter.
So everything is as it is, but the me can't handle it.
Well, the me would prefer it to be as the me would prefer it to be. The me wants it to be his way.
Right, and that's the suffering.
That's
Because
where the problem is. Yeah.
everything is as it is. So if you want something to be different than what is, that's suffering. If I want chocolate ice cream and 7-Eleven down the street is out of chocolate ice cream, and I have my mind set on chocolate ice cream, then I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be upset. But I'm actually using a real example because, well, I had an unexpected second tooth extraction this week.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was that's why you just never know. I thought I was going in for a root canal and she said, nope, this one has to go too. So another 3 hours and a lot of pain. But so I can only eat soft foods. That's what is. That's what is. I can only have right now is just soft foods. So ice cream is perfect. It's cold and it's soft, although all the sugar, you don't really want it going into your mouth where it's open, but it's all been sutured and it has to heal. But they didn't have any chocolate. And I just sat there and I looked and I said, okay, well, are you okay with vanilla? And then as I was just sitting there and just calm, I noticed, look behind, because sometimes there's goodies hidden behind the ice cream, other flavors. And there was Neapolitan, guys. Remember Neapolitan? Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry. I loved it. I ended up getting that and I'm like, oh, this is way better than just chocolate. I get all three. But imagine if I had opened it up and been upset and go, just vanilla. Blah. You know, I want chocolate. I have to have chocolate. I would have created all this drama. And so by just, I know it sounds cliche, this going with the flow business, but I'm telling you, just slowing down, just seeing what's there. And I'm not going to say it's always going to work out, but I don't know. Somehow it seems to. I mean, there's no guarantees, but maybe someone else can speak to this, that you've seen when the me wasn't there with all its wants, needs, and shoulds, things have a tendency to work out all by themselves.
Well, I notice a resiliency when I'm not so identified with the way things have to be. You know, I can back out. And so, like you did, it's like, all right, well, what do we have here? You know,
Right.
and there's a built-in resiliency when the thought is not concrete. And I try to watch to see where I have concrete thoughts, because the more concrete a thought is, the more it gets me in trouble.
Okay. So, Joan, you want to get some work done?
Oh, sure.
Ah! Okay.
Make my day.
All right, baby. All right. So let's go back to the example with your kids, right? So you shared that he was not okay, that you were okay.
Yes.
Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right.
I can't do
That's
anything
it.
about it.
That's it. So you allow other people to have their good opinion freely, just as yours is. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's opinion, guys, is equal.
I can't,
Nobody's is better or more right or wrong than anybody else's.
I just want to add one thing I noticed when I gave up the this Oprah quote, the disease to please, when that left, there's a lot more space.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a tough one. I have to say, probably one of the biggest about the me is its need for approval and getting it right and not screwing up.
Yeah, mine left town. It just left. And if it does enter, I can feel the contraction in my body.
Yeah, that is, if you're sensitive, you can feel there's an openness. There's an openness and a freedom that's not available when the me is doing its thing.
Engaged. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a contraction, and it's actually kind of warm. Like, you know that thing when people get mad in cartoons, they always show steam coming out of the guy's ear, Wile E. Coyote and Yosemite Sam, and it's when we get angry, they say it makes our blood boil. And I've noticed that. I noticed that there is a physical heating up when the me gets agitated. And maybe that's where that expression comes, he's cool. She's cool. We like that, right? We like cool people. Well, he's just cool. He doesn't sweat the small stuff. Guy seems to just, right? Don't we like people like that?
And then it's people refer to people as hot-headed.
Yeah. Anybody else?
In terms of work, getting work done. Well, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just very frustrated today, and I'm not sure, however, like in the spirit of our conversation here, like right now, it seems to be okay. It's like, it's what is, it's what was. It wasn't like something that I enjoy. However, it doesn't seem like I have much control over it. In certain situation in life, somebody approaching me in a certain way, there is a response that seems to be beyond my control. And there is an urge lately, there is an urge to push back and just, like, I either want to get up and leave the room because I'm tired of fighting with people who are always right, or yeah, I mean, that's kind of like my thing, that I just feel like it's a boundary comes up, and yeah.
So right now in this moment, can you see, Peter, that that's a story in this moment
That's a story, yes.
right now? So I want to invite everyone just to notice that what is actually happening in this moment. Look how simple everything becomes when you get out of your head and stories and drop down, I know Uncle Jack would say, into your heart, and just be with what is. Doesn't that cut out a lot of the crap? Because it simplifies. What is just we're having a wonderful, beautiful Zoom call with people from all over the world. It's magical. No idea how any of this works. But this is all that's going on, is a Zoom call. So just notice that anything else is story. Anything from work, earlier today, from childhood, all that stuff gets dragged into this moment. But this moment is actually, well, you can't say what this moment is, can you?
I guess this moment is clear and clean. And when you do when you do a story, you sort of pollute it.
Yeah, because you get pulled into what's not happening. Or as I call it, spinning. I call when you get lost in thought, I call that spinning, because you're actually not going anywhere. Like a dream. When you have a dream at night, oh, I flew across the Grand Canyon, I went to Europe, I was in the Bahamas. No, you never left your bed. You didn't go anywhere. But you imagined you did, and while it was happening, it seemed very real. And
I
so
guess
that, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I guess it's helpful when you get to a point where you realize that that is spinning and that it won't achieve anything. But until you get to that point, you'll keep doing it because.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
No, that's honest, Faith. Yeah, I agree. You have to see this for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you may have to spin 10,000 times, but 10,001, something in you can just drop. And you can't do that. You can't make yourself not be a me. That's the me trying to make itself not be a me.
Michael,
Yes?
I feel like I'm catching myself more often doing a spin, and I catch myself and I just get more present to, what's going on right here, right now. I'm spinning and then, oh, wait a minute. And then I shift gear. It's like my capability of shifting gears is more apparent to me. It's like, oh, there it goes again. Not going there, and just move. The ability to mental agility, some kind of agility.
Yeah, still, but it's less work than that, Joan.
Yeah.
It's much softer and simpler. It's not a, like an effort, like a it's more of a relaxation where you just don't care about the story. Honestly. Because you see it's empty. Guys, everything is empty. I don't know if any of you heard of Richard Sylvester, non-duality teacher, wrote a book called I Hope You Die Soon. Yeah, and this can't be put into words. What you are cannot be put into words, and the mind will never get that.
I've often said that if I'm talking a lot, it's because I'm asleep. When I'm awake, I'm in silence. Many years ago, anchorman, ABC anchorman, called me at 10:30 at night when I was totally asleep. He did a 9-minute video. And I said in my sleep, supposedly awake, that we're conceptipated. We're so stuck in our concepts that there's no movement. Stay open for life. And it was I have so much fun because as a little boy, I wanted to be the master. I was 4 years old or something. I wanted to go and help people, but I didn't want to be thanked. I wanted to do it incognito, beyond the praise and blame. And we just had Hanukkah, and the highest charity in Judaism is to help others, and they don't know who's helping them, and we don't know who we're helping. It's just totally away from what we're taught in this conceptipated system to make lots of cars. Anyway, but the idea of conceptipation, we're so stuck in the concepts, there's no movement. Life is about movement, stay open for life. And I've had so many challenges throughout my life and so much grace when I don't take myself personally as a me. But I think when we take that me and we turn it upside down, we become a we, and that we is the one in duality.
Yeah. So I remembered what my point with Richard was during his talk I was watching today. He was talking about, he said, well, this is where the Buddhists got it right. And he was talking about emptiness. And what he means is that they do a really good job of pointing out that everything is empty. Nothing is solid. And that's what impermanence teaches us. Impermanence, we all know it intellectually, or as Uncle Jack would say, as a concept, but nothing ever stays the same. It's always moving. So what you think is happening, it's already gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's one and done. And there's no takebacks, no do-overs, and nothing's a dress rehearsal. This is it.
Remember the first time I attended Satsang in this forum, it had already started, and I dropped in, and it was just a bunch of people being quiet like this, and it was so impressive. I thought that was really cool. It's like nobody said, "Who are you?" or "Hi," or it was just and earlier when you mentioned emptiness, I'm quite familiar with emptiness as a concept. However, it is quite difficult for me to grasp the idea of emptiness, when I'm out in the world.
Yeah.
It seems like there is so much
Yeah.
there, and I'm not claiming it's real or unreal, or
Sure.
I'm just saying the concept or the idea of emptiness is not something that is easily grasped here.
No, good, Peter. And again, I want to encourage you to be as honest as you possibly can. Forget about sounding or looking good. Not interested. You have to stick to the truth, because that's what frees you. You admit, God, I feel like Peter's sharing, my me feels like there's a solid world out here. And that's how it is for me. The me only sees the fullness. It doesn't see the emptiness. That's why it's not comfortable to be a me, because you're only seeing the appearance, the fullness, which is only half the story. You don't realize that this is all like a dream, an appearance. It has no solidity, but your brain, the human brain, is designed apparently to make it seem completely real and solid. And it's really there, and it's always going to be there. And the way I think it is the way it actually is. Nothing is the way you think it is. We don't know what this is. This is a complete mystery. And so that's another thing we can throw into our pile with the me, is it thinks it knows something. right? I know that I exist. And from there, every other kind of knowing. But what if we question that initial assumption that I exist as a me? So let's go into this, because I think this is really interesting. First of all, have you ever seen a me?
I wouldn't know what to look for.
Well,
Like how do they show up?
well,
What do they wear?
okay. Well, if I asked you if you had seen a jacket, a plaid jacket with a white trim collar, could you
I
look
would-
down? Yeah, and you could point to your jacket. Okay,
Yes.
so there it is. You could point to it. Is it right? I'm not playing tricks here. I'm not being like sneaky. I'm being very direct. I'm saying, if I ask you to show me your beautiful Christmas jacket, Peter, you can show me your beautiful Christmas jacket. But if I ask anybody to show me their me, can you find a me? Very simple question, very direct.
Well, the me feels like it's somewhere behind my eyes. There's something, but
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
that's
So
my
feeling.
that's my receiver of my sense organs, receiver, central nervous system, something's processing, but yeah, I don't know. It's I hear and I see and I touch, taste, smell, but
Look at this. Look how the me hates to give it up. It's
yeah.
like it just can't admit that you can't, like, just to say, no, Michael, I cannot find a me anywhere. Look how hard it is just to say that. Like, because that's your experience. You've never actually found a me. You've assumed it.
Mhm,
You've had a feeling that it's
mhm,
felt like a me.
mhm.
In other words, what would this moment be like without a me?
Space.
Good. Yeah, let's go the other way. So at the beginning of Satsang, we gave the me. What kinds of things are here now when the me is not there? So we have space. Anything else experienced?
Point of light.
Light. Feels lighter. Light feels light.
Expansive.
Expansive. Right, because without a me, good, Alan, because without a me, where do you begin and where do you end?
Well, total freedom, and it seems synonymous with what other people have said. Freedom.
Freedom. Wow. So you're saying freedom is there when the me isn't?
And I've noticed there's a sense of humor there too.
I do try and keep it light. I do think this should be enjoyable. There's so much, everybody's so serious.
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
You don't need a better reason. That's a great reason. That's it. It's in the moment is so much, we can take everybody's lighter. The moment is more expansive. It's freedom. Ah.
Huh.
But as soon as I think I know something, bam. I'm right back in judgment and division, because now there's a me who knows something about something else. That's two, the knower and the known.
Socrates said, the one thing I know is I know nothing. And I've had this argument with Socrates forever, because if you knew nothing, you wouldn't know the one thing. But I have problems with Einstein too. And I laugh. My me is my box, who I think I am. Who you may think I am is what other people, but when I'm out of the box,
Yeah.
I'm just watching and enjoying.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's that watching and enjoying.
Exactly.
But when I see people laughing and happy and joyous and grateful, that makes me more, not less me, but more the one. So it's a wonderful journey. It can be a wonderful journey when we take ourselves less serious, less mind, more heart.
Yeah.
Less mind, more heart. I'm reminded the heart has 4 chambers, and that's for another time. My stories do me all the time. That's in the box.
I think a box is a good description of the me. Because when you are, you're boxed in, you're whew. So maybe you can get a feel, a sense for how constricting it is to be a me and to be a knower. It's so limiting because, see, beliefs don't come empty-handed. Beliefs present themselves almost like a trap because they look like they're free of charge, because you can have as many beliefs as you want. But as soon as you take on a belief, what you don't realize is now you have to defend it.
There's so much talk about ego and stuff, and I got in trouble once because I said to a very spiritual man that I honor my ego for it gets me out of my bed, but I offer my ego for it gets me out of my head. So if you're going to be in your ego, just stand on it and just watch and look for things that are joyous and loving and whatever you, each one of us is on a unique journey. We really are, even though we're all part of the one. There's a Sanskrit expression, there was no one to know me, God supposedly said this. So I separated myself from myself so I could love myself. There was no one to know me, the one. So I separated myself from myself so I could love myself. So the journey that we're on is that love, that one, connecting to the one beyond the box.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed my box too, though, but I stand on it and then I'm more watching and enjoying.
Okay. Anybody else? Who hasn't shared?
Daniel? We haven't heard from Daniel.
You haven't?
I don't. No, I
You
don't
haven't
think
been
so.
listening.
Daniel's pulling off of me. Daniel used to give me not a hard time, but he would mess with me Wednesday nights because 45 minutes in, I would still be meditating. And he's like, Alan, are you there? You wanna? So whoever said that, I'm glad, because I was thinking the same thing, Daniel.
At least somebody appreciates my Alan impersonations, my tributes. Yeah, I don't have a lot of words right now.
I appreciate that honesty, because often, you
That's all
know,
I
like
got.
when you're called up on, you produce something, and I think that's a really wonderful answer, that you don't have a whole lot of words.
That's all I got.
A smile dissolves a lot of words. A smile says so much.
Maybe that's my quote for tonight. Silence says so much.
Silence is golden. Wasn't that a hit sometime way back?
Yes.
The Tremolos.
I was just thinking about the box, and I'd been listening to Tim Kliss, and I don't know if I can quote him, but he was talking about, like, the box is like a prison cell, and we're the prisoner, and we're also the jailer. Somehow that was meaningful to me.
And I could also see Tim saying, in reality, there's no box, no cell, no prisoner.
Yeah.
Well, especially if emptiness is the case, there wouldn't be much room for all these.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it, Peter. When this hits you, that everything is inherently empty and therefore meaningless, because the me is the opposite. The me puts great meaning and great significance on everything.
I just had a glimpse of emptiness, in the sense that I've always looked for emptiness in a really absolute sense, you know, like coming into a white room with nothing in it. And I just, for a second, as you were talking, Michael, I thought that's just a particular way of looking at emptiness, but emptiness could be much simpler, like empty of meaning, you know, for example.
Well, everything is inherently empty of meaning, but nobody gets that. So if there's a me on the scene, it's going to, as I said, give great meaning to everything. But what it can't see is that meaning is completely subjective. That meaning that it thinks that whatever it's thinking means, ask someone else. They may be thinking something completely different. So let's take your song by the Tremolos, Silence is Golden. One person could hear it and go, wow, what a beautiful song. Someone else could turn off the radio and go, ugh, what is that crap? Now here's the thing, who's right? I'll tell you who's right. Each me will think they're right. So the one who thinks it's a good song says, that guy doesn't know what he's talking about. That's a good song. And vice versa. The other guy says, man, that guy's got bad taste. That's clearly a bad song. Because I know bad songs, that's a bad song. So do you see the trap the me creates for itself? As soon as it takes a position, you automatically are forced to defend, whether you want to or not, just by the act of taking a position.
Conceptipated.
Yeah, conceptipated.
Conceptipated.
Yeah,
Life is about movements. Stay open for life.
good. Maybe I can contact Pepto-Bismol to be a sponsor.
A quick poem, may I?
Roto-Rooter.
Yes, let's hear your poem, Jack.
In all the world, there are men and women seeking to find happiness and love. Somewhere the idea was born that the price for this prize was to dress in strange costumes, faces masked, arms crossed, protecting hearts beating, yet unheard for the mind's clamoring, grasping to belong, grasping to be, yet missing the ring of life in the charade. O beings of light, may we unmask to see the God in you and me, that point of light. O beings of light, may we unmask to see the God in you and me.
Yeah, beautiful.
I changed the words. I was recording Robert Bly, and so I changed the last word to, O beings of light and shadow, may we unmask to see the God in you and me. But the original way I heard it was, O beings of light, that point of light that's all made of. That's the non-duality aspect, and it's so much fun. May we unmask to see the God in you and me. Happy Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever anybody is celebrating. Just, it's such an extraordinary time as the world is unfolding in the supposed epidemic that's forcing us to be alone? Maybe not. In silence? Maybe not.
Well,
anyway, enough from this old man. It's happy forever.
thank you, beautiful. I just want to close tonight's satsang by saying, I know there's a lot of pain out there. I know a lot of people are suffering very badly. But I encourage you to use this time for real self-reflection, because now you have an excuse not to do anything. And so you can really take time to be present, to get to know the stillness and the silence that's always here, but missed when we're lost in thought. Thank you guys so much for coming to Satsang this evening. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate.
I say happy Heineken.
Okay, beautiful. And I will do my best to get this up on YouTube in the next 24 to 48 hours. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you guys. We are meeting next week, so I look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday.
Thank
Bye,
you,
guys.
Michael. Bye.
Bye.
Guys.
Happy holidays.
Hi, everybody.
Happy holidays.